let me go ahead. Reverse that. Hello and welcome to TableTakes, everybody. I hope you guys are having a fabulous first week of Pride, as it is. You know, let your pride out, let your pride out. Hey, yeah. So let's go ahead and just jump right into stuff. You know what? Again, thank you, Noir, for joining us again this week.
Hello, thank you for having me back. I don't know how I slipped my way back in here, but here I am.
Security will be alerted momentarily.
Yeah, we got to go ahead and call.
I outran them last time. I'll outrun them this time too.
No, but what have you been up to lately?
Oh boy. I've got a few things on the works here. Still part of the Necrobiotic Kickstarter, and we're wrapping up pretty soon. So if you're interested in kind of dystopian future game, please give that a look. Greatly appreciated. Other than that, I'm just playing a bunch of actual plays, and I am going to be part of a Monster Hearts 2 actual play with Grant Ellis and a fantastic cast. So I get to be a broody werewolf. I can't wait.
Ooh. Wait. Will you have the broody werewolf like eye cover going on with it, or no?
You know I will. In fact, I'm appropriately dressed with my Werewolf's Vote shirt because I'm trying to get into the role. So I'll absolutely have the hair swoop going, full 2004 Bieber. With the eyeliner of a Gerard Way. I'm bringing it in.
We're ready for it. So got to get a picture and tweet it at us and everything. Speaking of which, Emma, I love your mushroom shirt. What have you been doing this weekend other than being a fun gal?
I don't know. My mind is very blank today, but I did go into the world vaccinated, making more forays out into physical spaces, including we went to Pike Place Market. I still have to make sure that I get that right because there's a way that you say it that's the worst and people get super mad about that. Like Pike's Market or Pike's Place? Something.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, so got some flowers and ate some tasty food and went to the I'm gonna forget what it's called now. The comics place, the comics and collectibles. There's a cool store.
The one in the basement, right?
Yeah. And I keep meaning to get more into comics. Don't really read comics, but seeing all the ones there, I'm like, I want to do that, but I'm just a little nervous about which one to pick because I want something. I'm just in the mood for something not fighty or murdery, but just like people hanging out and baking bread together. But I did get some cute Mimi magnets and my very first D100.
Oh,
your first
is it rainbow? Oh, it's rainbow.
It's metallic bonsai. Here's a fact. This is metal. I don't know if you can tell from this. This is solid metal. It weighs about a pound. Like,
good gluttony object. So if you get like some like slingshot, you could definitely
you could do some damage with this. I want you to be able to feel how heavy this is at some point because this definitely weaponizable. So I thought you'd appreciate that.
So I do act up at Emma's table.
Emma just coming in and stop now.
Rolling it is super weird though. I almost because you want to roll it, right? So to actually I've been doing it on the floor because if you're on the table or something and it's heavy too. I'm I don't know how I'm actually going to use this, but it's pretty. It's pretty.
I'm surprised that's your first D100. You're
I was too, because Javion told me about this. He's like, they have D100s at the comic store. And I'm like, I don't have a D100. So I'd somehow missed the fact that I didn't have it. It just hadn't crossed my radar. But I've remedied that. So
yeah.
Now your set is complete.
Now you know. But yes, let's go ahead and step into the Isabella zone. What have you been doing?
Wow, what a great question. Last night I was thinking about this question and I had a really cool answer. And then I woke up this morning and I forgot because I had a dream where Greta Thunberg did judo chops on GOP and it kind of wiped my whole brain. So my friend came in from the East Coast. I haven't seen him in 2 years this past week. And so we got to hang out over Memorial Day weekend, which was very nice because I miss him a lot. And being with him in person was very strange because I was like, you're a human being, like in the flesh. And it was very surreal. And we just kind of walked around. We went to the ID and we walked around Capitol Hill, and it was really nice weather this past week, and so we got to enjoy that. And yeah, it was very strange because it was like being with a human, I had kind of forgotten how that feels, like hanging out with people, and that it was really nice to talk to another person. It was very strange. It was a very sort of like after 2 years of just like not talking to another human being in real life or not hanging out with anybody. It was very surreal. So that was nice. And then I went to the hospital and got approved for surgery. So that's coming up soon. So yeah, we're going to get some organs taken out and I'm very excited to see them go.
Good luck with that.
Good luck. Minus one organ or two.
It's okay. The organ was not paying rent. The organ was just
it was just a slacker.
It was just squatting inside of my body. And so I just it's time to go. It's time for an eviction. So yeah, that's pretty much all that happened to me this weekend. Working on some stuff for Pride. Seattle Pride is happening later on this month, and so they're doing like a virtual, still in a virtual thing, and so working on a couple of things for that as well. And then the Mopop also is doing a Pride event where they have an exhibit about queer activists, which I hope that you guys get to check out because I was also involved with that as well. And so that's opening up later on this month. And so I'm very excited about the, things opening up and things happening. The state is going to open up early next month. And so, yeah, we're probably going to have an interesting summer. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Ooh, cool. I'm going to post the link for that. That looks super cool.
Yeah.
All you local Seattle people or visitors, Seattle people.
Seattle people, come and see this, but also be vaccinated and, be healthy, wash your hands. I mean, I guess like mine, I didn't really do, I did go hiking. I did go experience the outside world. And then the day after my thighs hated me. As usual, as one does when you hike. And then I also got to watch Cruella, by the way. It was actually pretty good. It's better than I thought it was going to be. Yeah, I thought. Okay. Why did you not watch it? Did you?
I was worried. I saw some reviews that were just like, it's a good movie, but it's not like attached to the Dalmatians lore. Now that I'm saying those reviews out loud, I'm just like, I probably shouldn't listen. The 101
Dalmatians lore.
The lore.
You gotta stick to the lore, baby.
You saw it happen on Noir's face. You just saw this like shadow come down. He was like, the lore.
Well, I mean, I would recommend, like, especially if your younger self, at least my younger self, I was an oddball, and I also didn't necessarily fit with the crowd. Yes, I was.
Good. Wow, shucks. I'm shocked.
I know, really. It's like, no, I'm like a totally hip, cool person now, not at all awkward in any way. Yeah.
Can I ask one question about the movie? Because I am genuinely curious.
All right, no spoiler question, but I'll go ahead.
I'm gonna watch.
Do they try and justify her murder lust for puppies?
It's actually, well, I can't. No, that's a spoiler. I cannot say.
Okay.
Cannot say spoiler. Not gonna say, but it is there. There is something there. There is.
Okay.
But I cannot say because I don't want to spoil things. But also the fashion, the love, and also, it's just. Pretty okay. There are some dumb parts, but give it.
Every movie has dumb parts.
Everybody has dumb parts.
I heard the soundtrack is lit though.
Yeah. But some parts are not dumb, but mostly parts that cause thirst traps, right, Emma? Thirst traps for the dungeons and the dragons and all of the.
Yeah. So we might have mentioned it once or twice before on the show. In case maybe you haven't seen it, you might have missed the fact that Regé-Jean Page is going to be in the upcoming Dungeons and Dragons movie that we are all very excited about, especially now that Derek, we miss you, but you're not here to have any reservations about the Dungeons and Dragons movie. So we can just be here, total thirst, expectations through the roof. It's going to be great. But as Isabella was saying before, it has Regé-Jean Page in it. So even if you just,
can't be bad.
Even if like the dialogue, whatever, just like cover your ears, earplugs, and just watch the beauty unfold on the big screen. I'm excited. So specifically, Regé-Jean Page is talking more about his upcoming role in the movie. And if you are excited about the movie and kind of wondering about it, maybe worried, like, again, Noir, like you're saying, how much does it capture the Dungeons and Dragons lore, right? How much does it stick to the
canon? Is it canon?
Is it canon? That it has to be canon.
Yeah, there's some good stuff in this. And I think Regé-Jean Page was talking specifically about genre movies and how the MCU has really opened up to make genre movies, which are just nerd movies, right? Isn't that just like stuff nerds like? Like we can do that in a fully fleshed, fully bodied way now, because the producers or directors are more known for more comedy stuff. So people are like, oh, is it just going to be a comedy? And some of the stuff Regé-Jean Page was saying is like, hey, like we can MCU, like Marvel movies aren't comedy. You know, you don't go in there for laughs. They have everything. They have humor, they have drama, they have characters and connection. And from some of the hints that were being dropped, it seemed like they were really approaching the movie in like taking it seriously, but not like grim seriously. Like it has to be serious, but taking it seriously as storytelling. Especially, and Regé-Jean Page is being very upfront too, which I think is important, because people are gonna say like, oh, have you ever played Dungeons and Dragons? They're gonna do their like nerd cred check thing. He's like, hey, I hadn't played a lot of Dungeons and Dragons. I played JRPGs. I played a lot of Diablo, which honestly, you can get a lot about Dungeons and Dragons from JRPG and from Diablo especially. He name dropped the role of Paladin. So as someone who has played, I've only ever played a Paladin and a Celestial Warlock in Dungeons and Dragons. And now that I say that, I feel like there's kind of a connection there, but I had so much fun being a Paladin and being kind of the righteous. Like everyone's like, oh, we should sneak around behind the back. We should like do some reconnaissance here. And like, I walk up to the front door and knock of like the villain's hideout, right?
You make knocking on the door sound so heroic.
I know. Well, the Paladin is the one who goes and is just like, oh, screw this like sneaking around stuff. I'm just gonna go forth. And Regé-Jean Page was dropping some hints about that. So now in my head, and I shouldn't do this, I know, for a movie, but I'm just building up this world where it's just like shining, glistening armor and just like the most annoying one in the campaign too. Everyone else is like, God damn, stupid Paladins, why?
You know, I'm gonna chime in. I mean, biting my tongue along. Paladin is best class. I don't care who knows it.
Thank you.
Paladins are the best. And you know what? You are a respectful Paladin because you knocked on the door. I play Paladins that would just double drop kick the door open.
That works too. That works too. Yeah, just anything where it's just direct. Can't go around it. Got to go through it. Justice, right?
Paladin has an exclusive spell that's basically 1v1 me, bro.
Gosh, yeah.
Well, I think that this is really good for, you know, not to diss Derek, but, you know, for people who are skeptical of the material, I think that this is kind of really good to kind of put faith back into it. Like, you know, if you've seen the first Dungeons and Dragons movie, it may not inspire a lot of confidence. But I think that he has a really strong point in saying that like the Marvel movies has really raised the bar. So we expect a lot from our movies now, more so than we did when that movie came out. God, 25, 27
Jeremy Irons was acted his butt off in that movie.
And, I think that, this idea that, because the Russo brothers, who did most of the, not most, but did a lot of the Marvel movies, they were known first for doing Arrested Development, which is like as far away from a Marvel movie as you can possibly be. And yet they knocked it out of the park, I mean, like they did, comic stuff. And so I think that having, and plus, you can have a whole bunch of crossover. Chris Rock just did a Saw movie, like you can have a whole bunch of crossover and stuff like that, and so I think that this is they're right to say, like, one, the bar has been raised and we're looking at Marvel and we're looking at how they handle the mixing of genre, comedy, actions, fantasy, doing all that kind of stuff, mixing that together, and I think it's also really great that he is delving deeper into playing the game. I don't necessarily think that that's like, I don't necessarily think like, oh, you have to be a gamer in order to understand, like, but at the same time, I do think that, like, there's a whole group of actors who play D&D who swear by it, who say that, like, D&D helps their acting. And, we've seen a lot of celebrities who really get into it. And so I think that this is really exciting that he, and plus I with him saying that he plays JRPGs are cousin sisters, to D&D. So he's got nerd cred. Also, he's hot, so leave him alone.
I love you because you were talking about he did get into it more. He said he hadn't as much in the past, but he drafted his friends, basically. Like, he mentioned his friends specifically, and so he has nerd friends. And can you imagine that? First of all, being Regé-Jean Page's friend, and then Regé-Jean Page comes up to you.
You're not just his friend, you're his nerd friend.
His nerd friend.
You're the nerd friend of the hottest dude in the world.
I'm doing a Dungeons and Dragons movie. I need you to Dungeons and Dragons me.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is just have a lot of excitement. Like it does, like there are reasons, like I understand, like they just want to be like ahead of the gatekeepers, I guess, in some ways, even though a lot of us are like, yeah, as long as you enjoy it. But it does lend to like some like care. I feel like I'm wrapped more in blankets of safety in terms of like, we actually care as actors. We're going to look at some of the material that this is based off of, and, we like it and stuff. But speaking of Marvel, something just dropped. Basically, just like boom, Marvel just dropped some news. Noir, please tell us.
Speaking of just going around and kicking the door open, Marvel decided to go ahead and kick the door open and announce the Marvel Multiverse Tabletop role-playing game is coming out in 2022. This is going to be the first time in over 30 years that we're going to get a new Marvel TTRPG. The last one was the Marvel Superheroes RPG all the way back in 1986. The game is going to be based on their all new D616 system, which is a nerdy joke that I just love so much, because if you aren't aware, the 616 universe is the number of the mainstream comic book universe in the Marvel in the Marvel universe.
Nice.
So the Marvel Cinematic Universe is universe 99999, I believe, whereas the comic book mainstay universe is 616, and the Ultimate Universe had its own designation before it was ultimately wrapped up in the 616 universe with Miles Morales joining the mainstream. But that's not what you're here for. You're here to find out more about.
This is great. I love this.
So it's going to allow people to play some of their favorite Marvel heroes, as well as including rules for creating your very own superheroes. As a GM, I'm very excited about this, because if this were just a rule set for creating your own heroes, that's one thing. But actually having stat blocks and rules for existing heroes allows you to bring them into the world and as fully fleshed out NPCs. So that's going to be fantastic. They do note that this game will be a natural evolution for those familiar with the most popular tabletop role-playing games on the market, and it will use a set of stats that mirror D&D stats. So it sounds likely that this will be at least 5e inspired. So you'll get your strength, dex, con, intelligence, wisdom, charisma, but they might just be called different things. And the game is being designed by Matt Forbeck, who worked on the Marvel Encyclopedia and tons of TTRPG stuff. The playbook test will be apparently be sold and is set to be released in spring 2022, and the full game is scheduled for a 2023 release. So get the countdown ready. And it's kind of it is kind of bizarre to be selling the playtest and announcing this 2 years early, but it just shows that right now Marvel is one of the hottest selling properties out right now in terms of movies, comic books, collectibles, anything. So the fact that we're now having them enter the TTRPG space while it's like TTRPG is on fire right now. So having this brand in this setting at this time, it's a win-win all the way around. And I am excited to be in the 616 universe, where I can finally set some things right. Patriot, you're gonna get the respect that you deserve, buddy.
I think this is really, I mean, I didn't know that it had been so long between, because there's been like other kind of minor things with Marvel kind of put onto it, I think that this is really cool. I cannot wait to play this. Of course, I want to play a Storm, of course, but also the idea of creating your own character is really interesting to me, because like, come on, we all have like superhero OCs and stuff like that. When I saw D616, I was like, oh, that's cute, but also, what is a 616? Can you explain that to me? Tell me exactly what a 616 sided die looks like, sir. And so,
like this times 6.
I didn't really, I thought it was cute, but I was like, you're gonna have to break that one down for me. But I also like, though, that the cover of this book, I mean, I don't know, it has Galactus and your boy, oh my god, what's his name?
Miles?
No. The two villains on the side of the book. It's Galactus and the new villain.
Hold on. Let me.
Gotta look.
Sorry.
I don't know.
Oh, okay. I got you. I just pulled it up. All right. So you have Galactus and King the Conqueror.
King the Conqueror. Yes.
And I just to note, Kang the Conqueror is going to be one of the next big villains in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's hinted that he's going to make his presence felt in the Loki show, but
don't get attached to that, because we did some WandaVision theories about that too.
The theories are great. No, I love it.
Oh, it hurt me. WandaVision hurt me.
I will say this one last thing. Kang the Conqueror is the hero that the young Avengers got together to stop in the first place, and we know that they are building towards the Young Avengers. We've met Patriot, we've met Stature in Ant-Man movies. Kate Bishop is going to be in the Hawkeye TV show. Wiccan and Speed, we met them during WandaVision, and so
Ms. Marvel, right?
Ms. Marvel.
Miss Marvel's getting her own TV show, her own Disney Plus show.
We also met Iron Lad as well. Iron Lad was at the end of, remember Tony Stark's funeral and the boy.
Oh wait, is it?
That's Iron Lad.
What?
So this is the whole thing. We're gonna get into this. There's a whole bunch of Marvel.
We're gonna go into. Go ahead. You can.
So really quick, spoilers for the original Young Avengers run. Iron Lad ended up being.
Yeah, we're gonna get into this later, Noir. We're gonna get into this later.
We gotta do it off. We're gonna run
so
off
sorry,
this train.
Sorry,
this train's
sorry.
gonna go boom, boom, boom.
Don't get me started on Marvel. I'll get crazy. Anyway,
it's okay. We're gonna exchange one tinfoil theory hat for another tinfoil theory hat, because WotC hints at more returns of like 2 more classic settings. So just like with the release of Van Rich's Guide to Ravenloft, they already WotC also released an infograph hinting that it's has upcoming products scheduled, to quote, like, classic settings 1 down, 2 to go is what they basically hinted after, like, Van Rich's Guide to Ravenloft. This is basically like, hey, all right, we already got 1 of these classics down. Now we're gonna get 2 to go. This prompted, of course, a lot of people saying that this is what we're gonna bring back. So one of the extensions, or one of the ideas, is Greyhawk, which a lot of people believe is a very strong contender. It's 4th edition default kind of settings, or 3rd edition default settings. Another one is the new Dragonlance books, of course, coming out. Shows like, WotC's interested. That might also be a setting that is proposed. So for a lot of the Unearthed Arcana has been very strongly hinting at Psychonics, which may be Dark Sun, which I can hear Derek go, yes, Dark Sun. And then also, of course, the new Boulders game that's based on space invasions and like maybe interested in spell jammers and such. So, Noir, what do you want to say? I can see you. Are you gonna put on this tinfoil hat? Come on, I
just want one thing, and I know I'm probably never gonna get it, but I want it so bad. Spelljammers.
Okay.
Spelljammers. Your vote. Your team. Spelljammers.
Spelljammers. I want Spelljammers so bad.
Okay, so somebody tried to explain this to me once, and okay, I'm gonna butcher this, so fair warning. So the universes are linked by like space, and the Spelljammers go between them in space boats.
Yes.
Oh my gosh! I got it. Yes.
that run on arcane energy. Yes,
wow. Because I was like, that's too ridiculous to be true. That sounds cool to me, like space.
It's basically just take your D&D party and yeet them into Star Wars,
and then have a mini giant space hamster.
That sounds cool. I do like
that.
Cool.
Mini giant space. Sorry. I mean, this is like, so they haven't really officially announced what the classic settings are, but of course people are like, oh, all the fan bases are like, this is what the top votes. I wonder if WotC, since there's so many special licenses, as you can see, there's like at least 4 like picks people are choosing right off the bat. I wonder if WotC might do hey, let's vote on what place gets actually, I mean, that's just an idea. This is at all no related to any news whatsoever. This is my fan theory coming up of what I would like to wish for, of like, hey, WotC, why don't you give it a vote? See what people want. So yeah, it just lots of fun things for those
people will Spelljammers.
You're like Spelljammers.
How do I read this vote? Noir's down there. It's like, okay, how many friends?
It's me. I'm Peoples.
I'm Peoples. Give me Spelljammers. Like I said, there's not that much information. We're just basically going off of a single sentence. This is like, all this is just based off of a single sentence that they said, classic settings, 1 down, 2 to go. So as news goes on, we'll go ahead and fill in more of those details. But first, let's go ahead and talk about some really cool things for GMs that they can use and eat up, and you don't have to draw everything. Noah, tell us.
So this is there was a Kickstarter that happened a bit ago, Dungeon Alchemist. It is a map making AI, which is insanely cool. If you haven't taken a look at it, it's essentially you give this thing a size and a theme, and it will make a map for you that coincides with what you were asking for. So you can do like a tavern, a crypt, a motel, whatever you like, and it'll just pop it up, and then you can customize it from there, which is a really handy GM tool, because I don't know if you're like me, but I will be on Roll20 just making maps all night, and it gets a little tedious. Well, now we're hearing that Dungeon Alchemist AI is going to be dropping their beta sometime soon. We still haven't gotten an exact date, but we do know that it is coming. So be on the lookout for that if you are like me and you want to give your players really detailed maps, but you're also lazy and you like naps.
I mean, that's going to be a helpful tool, yeah. But also like figurine paintings to be like, oh, boop, put the figurine down. I don't know. I always think of those really complex like structures that some people have of like physical like maps and everything. This just seems way more easier.
Yeah,
seriously, it really is. Like the second I saw it, I was just like, oh, okay, so that's gonna save me. That's gonna save me like over the stretch of my life. That'll probably save me a year or 2 worth of time. Just making maps.
Map making is probably my least favorite part of the whole thing. Yeah. So I love this.
character development. But you know what I know that Isabella really likes is writing love letters. Isn't that correct? Send a little letter for you.
Yes. I enjoy receiving love letters more than I enjoy sending love letters. But if you enjoy Love Letter, which is a classic card playing game, then you're really going to be excited for the new Love Letter Princess, which is a new Love Letter version of the game, which is based off of the comic series Princess Ever After, which is by Katie O'Neill. If you've heard of Princess Ever After, it's about two princesses who fall in love with each other, and it's super cute. And the art is really amazing. And if you were like me and you were a big fan of Revolutionary Girl Utena, then it kind of reminds you of that whole thing. And it's, you know, it's kind of in that fairy tale setting, but with a very queer sort of bent to it. It's really cute. It's very great. Katie's comic book was a really big hit, and it always kind of comes back around during June because it's always on the bestseller list for queer comics, especially for kind of tweens, teens. It's a really good book for them as well. And so I'm really excited because this game makes so much sense to put Love Letter and Princess together, since it's all about smooching princesses. And so this game is going to be coming out. I'm really excited for it. The original creator of the Love Letter game, Seiji Kanai, is coming back and will incorporate a lot of the elements from the original comic book into the game as well, with artwork and the incorporating some of the themes and things like that from the comic book as well. So this is really cute to me. I think this is a really awesome idea for some cute, nice gameplay, some high femme fantasies, if that's what you're into, for June and, you know, into the future, but also specifically for Pride Month as well. So yeah, I'm excited about this.
Yeah, Love Letter is I'm trying to say, like, it's such a great game. Like, do I say it's one of my favorite games? I think I've played it so much at this point that I go in cycles. Like, I get a little burnt out because I play it so much, and then I was like, oh, this is such a great game. It's definitely one of the games I've played the most. It's amazing for getting non-gamers into gaming. It's very simple rules, and I love that even the original is totally gay, and that's great because you have a table of just people of all genders playing this game, and you're all giving love letters to romance the princess as yourselves. So the idea is you play the card that you play is the person who you're trying to get to hand your letter to the princess, but you are the person who is romancing the princess. And I love the flavor you can put on this game. My husband's really good at it. Like, after everyone's played their cards, he does the role-playing part of it. So he's like, the next morning you're all at breakfast together, and the princess thought that Emma's crayon written drawings were really cute and gave a token of affection. So yeah, I just love that they're making it even more more direct and lovely and gay, and it's beautiful.
Yeah. I'm gonna have
We
to
like
try
the
this
queens.
game.
It's so good, yeah. And there's also a million types. I mean, this one looks great, but there's like a Batman love letter. I think there's like a Marvel love letter.
There's
Okay,
Batman
Marvel,
love
I'll do.
letter?
Batman, I'm not writing Batman a love letter.
I would write love letters to Catwoman, to Harley Quinn.
Oh yeah.
All of Batman support cast, absolutely. You know, the Grace,
love letter to
Oracle, Alfred. I don't get
Alfred.
But
yeah,
I refuse to write Bruce Wayne.
Fair.
It's all so heartbroken. No love letters for you, Batman. Sorry, Noir's just not into you. You gotta be Poison Ivy or something. You know, be a villain. But and you know, but yeah, no, that's great. In terms of that, just all the queer love out there for Pride, and more than just Pride, because it should be an all year round thing that you should just be accepting, low key, just saying. But also on sorry to take this happy cozy moment and then kind of go with the downer moment that we're going to go ahead and discuss right now. If this is more of a reflection for indie tabletop developers and game designers for this note. Rius, or I'm probably pronouncing it Risus or Risus.
Reese's.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Resus. The Anything RPG is for sale. So basically, the creator of this game that has been like this RPG has a huge following and has been in production for about 28 years now. John Ross, basically put into their blog that they, after all of this time, and like with development, recent successful Kickstarter, they basically are going to be selling all of the tabletop RPG brand and all of its associate assets, like due to like a combination of failing health, financial troubles, and like, you know, feeling like they're not necessarily the person that can bring their creation to life. They are putting all of their like designer notes and everything for sale for somebody else to take their baby from them. So like this is just like out there, like if you want to go ahead and is another publisher would like to take up this title, the only stipulation is that in addition to this the rights of the game, you also have to include like to fulfill the Kickstarter rewards at the end that they have for this. They just, you know, you get the purchasing rights of the game, all of its editions, sells, and its splat books, and also their social media account as well. For me at least, like Emma, you can probably chime in as well. This is kind of like a little bit heartbreaking that because of the financial reasoning behind this and their like lacking confidence in terms of taking this to the full, this like basically John Ross is having to sell their project that they've been working over for 28 years. Like,
Yeah,
how do you feel about that?
It's tough. It makes me think of the whole indie darling thing, especially I've seen this a lot in the video game space, where some games make millions of dollars, or in the TTRPG space, hundreds of thousands of dollars, or enough money, you know, that you can kind of, especially if you have support from people, like you can make sustaining money off of people, off of it. Some people do, you know, some people make this their full-time business, and there's a lot that goes into that. There's a lot of luck, you know, sometimes things just hit, you know, and there's also a lot of business to it, honestly. You know, having been on the business side of it, the ones that do succeed usually do have a fair amount of business savvy, and a lot of people who just create indie RPGs don't necessarily have that or want to do that part of it. So you can make something that is successful and get it out there, and people are supporting you and giving you money, but it's just a lot of work to sustain and do all the business stuff and design the game. So yeah, it's tough to do. I think they're having a successful property and doing it as an indie thing too, you know, working with a publisher. In this case, it's a little interesting too. Like if it is something and you are struggling a little bit, I think a route you can go is to work with a publisher, take some of that off of yourself and reach out to people and talk about this. But this is more just like, I'm done. And it really feels like I love this property. I run this game all the time. I had more hopes for this. I don't know why it's not succeeding more than this. And I just can't handle it anymore, which is valid. You know, that it's a lot of work and a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, you know, to exist in this industry. And so it's tough to kind of lose something like this, but I could see it can also be a burden lifted, right? If I can sell this to someone, it can continue. I can get some money off of it and, you know, take a break, get some rest, maybe work on stuff in the future.
But yeah,
it's tough, you know, because I think that like getting into, if you're looking for like the big bucks, you know, most people are not getting into game creation for like the big money, you know. I think that we get into it because of the fact that we love it, you know, and the money kind of comes secondary, or how you're going to make your livelihood kind of comes secondary to that, you know, to the love and the passion for it. And we see a lot of the successes. We see a lot of the Kickstarters that are like, they were making 4, 6, 7 times the amount that they originally set for their goal. And we see those and we think like, oh, okay, everybody else is doing it. And then but the reality of it is that this takes so much hard work. It takes so much time and dedication, and not everybody's stuff, you know, pops off. Like not everybody has the hit game of the year. And so we rarely ever talk about it, you know, on this show about what does happen when you launch a game and it doesn't become the hugest game of the year. And that's the case for most people. It's just a reality of it, you know. And like I hope that this person, you know, is they're still involved, that they, I mean, 28 years is so long to dedicate to something. And that is like, I don't know, it's like giving up a child, you know? And so I when I saw that, I thought, this is the other side of it. This is the other side of the industry. And it's hard to talk about because we don't want to talk about something so realistic, but this is really what it's like for a lot of people, you know?
Yeah. I mean, and it was wild just looking this up. It has an active player base. It is popular. And the thing is that only goes so far. I think if there is a silver lining to this, to reiterate what Isabella and Emma said, is this does show people just how much work indie artists are doing, indie designers and creators are doing.
Yeah.
And so I hope that this fosters a greater appreciation of the games that you love.
Yeah.
Yes, very strong words. But yeah, go ahead and check it out. We already posted in chat the blog if you want to go ahead and see it for yourself. But now we're going to go ahead and we here at TableTakes, we go through emotional roller coasters. We get you excited, we'll put you down. But now we're going to get you excited. We're going to jumpstart you. Isn't that right, Emma? Jumpstart.
Jumpstart. Yes, specifically Jumpstart, the Magic the Gathering format that I was trying to go back through my memory, because I remember talking about this on TableTakes maybe a year or 2 or 10. Time has no meaning. We talked about it specifically because it was a cool physical format where you would get a 20 card pack. Usually Magic is comes in 15 card packs. It's a special 20 card pack, and you could take 2 of the packs, literally just shovel them together. Things like vehicles or goblins or whatever. And they have all the lands in there, everything you need, shuffle them together, sit down and play a game. And every time you get this almost like Keyforge chaos factor to it. Super fun, super easy to get into. You don't have to build a deck. You literally just get 2 packs. And I remember talking, I was like, why did I never play that in person? I remember I was excited about that. I could be wrong about this, but I think it came up around the time as the pan pizza, as Isabella likes to say. And so I think it just I wasn't going to stores or whatever, you know, I didn't have a chance to see this. If you see it in a store, you just pick up the 2 packs, but now it's coming back to Arena. So it actually was on Magic the Gathering Arena sometime over the last year. And it's a very popular format because digitally you can also get 2 packs. You get to choose from 3 for your first pack, choose from 3 for your second pack, shuffle them together and just play. Again, deck building is very tough. I usually just net deck things. So I just go on the internet and copy and paste, which is easy. But it can be a barrier to people, you know, how do I play if I just jump into Arena? And Arena is actually a pretty good way to learn how to play Magic. So with this Jumpstart format, you can get in, shuffle your packs, play the game. It gives you some hints on how to play. This is going on for a whole month too, with a pretty low buy-in fee to it too. So it seems like it's going to be a fun way for some people to get into it or come back to it. I remember, as Derek is saying in the chat, we had chatted about that. And he's like, okay, this would bring me into Magic again. So exciting to have something fun and easy. And the themes are really great. You know, you get to play weird stuff too, which you don't always get to do. The ladder on Arena, I will say, has been pretty brutal lately. And you can't do fun stuff anymore. It's just all the same decks on there. So this is a great way to do some weird things.
Like squirrels.
Magic. Squirrels. Yeah. I don't know if there's going to be squirrels in the Jumpstart. I think that's more of a... Squirrels. But I'm excited to see what they have there. I'll probably play around with it a little bit.
Ooh, then yes, maybe one day, Emma, you could just show us, like, just do a play-by-play. Be like, here, I got the Jumpstart deck. Let me show you how to play this. That maybe if we could hint, maybe production, on really exciting news about Gen Con. Guess what? guess what, folks? Gen Con Community Gaming Days this weekend. I don't know why I put a drum solo, but there you go. So, hey, if you guys are looking forward to this, they're going to be free professional DM and D&D 5th edition games that like basically buy start playing or startplaying.games. They're going ahead and giving like at least 4 different campaigns that you can join and sign up for. They're already assigning DMs. You don't have to pay for it. It's just something that, hey, if you're part of the community, we love you. You love games. Let's show our love to you. So all you have to do is join the Gen Con Discord to see all the various different listings. Let me go ahead and post the Twitter announcement here in this. Is a very exciting news. So here, let me go ahead and tell you what this month's games are. I'm going to go ahead and just give you a quick rundown. You can go ahead and click and list or go into the Discord and figure like basically find out more information for yourself. But the first game that they're going to be doing this month is called The Horror Within. The noble lady Ovilia Lang has enlisted your group of skilled adventurers to enter the Monweave Theatre to investigate a disaster that followed the premiere of The Horror Within. So if that sounds like something that you're interested in, go ahead and sign up. We also have The Wild Killer Sheep Case. You finished the taxing adventure with your comrades and have settled down for a nice uneventful meal in the local tavern. And then suddenly the doors burst open and you're approached by a frantic sheep with a scroll in its mouth. So that's another one that they have. And then we have Secrets of the Marquez. You have been approached by the warlock Amon Marquez, who requires a group of adventurers. He wishes to explore the lost giant temple dedicated to Colossus, the great celestial and protector of the races of Eberron. As well. And the last game that you can go ahead and try to jump into this month is A Restful Resting Place. You and your party, adventurers handpicked by King Nathaniel of Eberron. Yes, I know how to pronounce these names. Have served the kingdom loyally for 7 years and have been well rewarded. News of the king's death has been thrown the kingdom into mourning, but the Stuart heroes such as yourselves are always in need. So if any of those games sound exciting for you, join our Discord, sign up for all of these things, and just, have fun, enjoy. And then Isabella, what other Gen Con news do you have for us today?
I wish that we could go through all of Bonsai's hidden accents. One of these days, we're going to have to go and categorize all of Bonsai's accents. So this Sunday, Gen Con housing registration opens up. So if you have a badge, you'll receive an email on Saturday with your time slot so that you can log in and purchase your hotel room if you're going to be attending Gen Con in person. But also, if you've rolled your badge over, you decided that you do not want to attend Gen Con in person this year, that is fine. 2021 was off to a real rocky start. You can roll over your badge over into 2022, and you still may receive the email if your rollover hasn't processed, but you can go ahead and ignore it. So that's really exciting. If you need more information about housing and travel, you can go into the Gen Con website, and you can also email somebody very nicely about Gen Con questions that you may have, where you use a very passive voice and use a lot of please and thank yous, because the Gen Con people work very hard.
Yes.
If you have any questions about your housing or travel or anything like that, please be safe if you're going to go to Gen Con in person, especially because of the fact that you will be around some of my fellow genitals, and some of my other co-hosts as well. And you need to take good care of them, because these babies, all these babies around me, I love these babies, and I'm looking out for these babies. And if you do anything to these babies while they're at Gen Con, I'm gonna find you. I'm gonna set my bosom weasel on you, and you're not gonna like it. Okay.
That's a callback that no one is gonna understand what that is.
No one's gonna understand the inside
That was just for us.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
It's fine. Do not ask the questions.
Be safe. Be safe.
Yeah, be safe. There's no war in Bossing Say. Now let's go ahead and let me give a little fan air for Noir. Can you breathe, Noir? Because it's time for the bundles with Noir. Tell us the bundle today, Bundle Boss.
Bundle Boss. Still getting over being called a kiddo. All right, so hello everybody. Let's get into the bundle of holding. First off today, we have Mongoose Travelers 2nd Edition bundle and Travelers Pirates of Drinax bundle. These are two sci-fi bundles based on the latest edition of Mongoose's Traveler 2nd Edition RPG. And Traveler has long been considered one of the biggest names in sci-fi TTRPGs, and this is your chance to pick it all up at a real deal. $18 is going to get you all the essential books for your play, but with a $30 level up, you'll be adding a bunch of splat books. Now, for $13 more, you can pick up the Drinax bundle, which includes a full Traveler campaign to run through, which is always nice, especially if you're unfamiliar with the system, and it's benefiting Direct Relief. Now, for our second bundle of today, we have Queer Games Bundles 2021. Now, this is going to feature 236 titles from almost 200 independent queer creators. The money is being split evenly among the creators, with the goal of empowering them all with a sustainable annual wage to continue creating. The bundle will be available all Pride Month and cost $60, which is the same as a single AAA title. And just as an aside, this isn't them. This is me saying this. We've all spent $60 for terrible games that we would much rather not have paid $60 for.
Yeah, for one.
This is you paying $60 for 236 titles. If you do the math, one of them has to be an outstanding game. So really hop on this and let's normalize game creators having a sustainable living wage. This is a great cause. Yeah. This is brilliantly put together by a bunch of brilliant people. There are a lot of virtual products and games in the bundle, but it also includes a bunch of tabletop games such as Twilight Song, which is a solo map making and storytelling game where you chronicle the twilight decades of humanity, not to be confused with Jacob and Edward. This is not that. Then there's Current Year, a near future cyberpunk RPG with essential themes based around big data and surveillance. And then there's Into the Forest, which is a 1 to 3 player tabletop game that uses dice and a standard deck of playing cards to let you explore a forest and try and make it back out alive. So speaking of AAA titles and cyberpunk, anyway, so the next bundle we have is the TTRPG charity bundle for trans support. This runs all through Pride Month and features 75 tabletop games, modules, and gaming accessories from 50 designers. It's available for $20, and all proceeds are split evenly between the Transgender Law Center in the US and an organization called Mermaids in the UK. In the UK, Mermaids is the most well-known organization for providing support for the country's trans community. And the Transgender Law Center works to support the U.S. trans community via representation in court cases that might adversely affect the trans community. And this also includes a whole bunch of fun-looking content such as Fellowship 2nd Edition, powered by Apocalypse RPG inspired by The Lord of the Rings, and Ocean Tides, a GM-less collaborative storytelling game where you create messy entanglements with other players, which is always good. So if you're looking to throw some support for the LGBTQ A+ community, and you're looking for some great games, these are some bundles that I would highly recommend for a good cause, good people, and good games. So with that, I'm gonna pass it on over to Emma because we've got some Kickstarters to take a look at.
Ooh, Kickstarters.
Kickstarters. Yes, I did say entanglements. What's up?
I like we got a little band going on here. We're all gonna get instruments at some point. Just a few. I like.
Hey,
the
I'm
ones...
ready to go. Who's ready?
Oh, there we go. We got it.
I like the instruments where you can just press any button and it sounds okay.
Or Isabella, you could just stomp on the table. Be like, bump, bump.
My voice
Stomp.
is the instrument. No, that's
Ooh.
fine.
All right. First up for our Kickstarters, we have, yes, it is a dice Kickstarter. I promise this week I have something that's not a dice Kickstarter. I know it's been a lot of dice lately, but they're all good dice. Okay, I just can't choose between them because they're all good dice. These ones are specifically Orbidice. That's Orbidice. These are spherical dice. Okay, I didn't get a chance to get it out because it's in my dice briefcase that I think I showed off before, and I didn't want to get in there and get it, but I actually have a spherical dice, and it is super cool. Because the way it works is it has a weight in it, so when you roll it, it actually sits onto one of the 6 sides or 20 sides or whatever it is. So you roll it because it's a complete sphere, but it still lands on a particular number. So if you've never seen spherical dice before, you should definitely check it out because it's one of the coolest things that you can have in your dice collection if you're into collecting dice. They've been unlocking different themes over time. So some of them have cool, like crackly looks to of them. Some of them look more like a male suit of armor. They still have some to unlock. They've raised almost $400,000 because these are super cool dice. They're gonna have all sorts of different colors, and you'll get sets of them too. So you're not just gonna get one Orbidice, you're gonna get a complete RPG set of these round dice. And one of the things I love is being kind of a troll. Like if you're in a campaign or something, I was like breaking out my weird dice. So I got a spherical dice and people are like, what is that? Why are you doing this? And like, I can roll it. It's a dice. So yeah, if you're a big fan of dice like me, you should check out the Orbidice because they're super cool. And don't be skeptical. They are actually dice and you can watch the video. Because as we mentioned before on the show, watching videos of dice Kickstarter is super fun because you just get to see them, just infinite rolling dice. Yeah, and that has 20 days to go, ending Friday, June 25th. All right, and the next one is me as well. And in contrast, this one is ending in less than 24 hours. So if you want to back this one, you need to hop onto it right away. I see that it auto-corrected. This is to Tussie Missy. This is Tussie Mussy expansion collection by famed board game designer Elizabeth Hargrave. This is a button shy wallet game. I've talked about these a lot on the show before because I'm just such a super fan of these games. They come in a little plastic wallet. I actually have my wallet here for the original Tussie Mussy. This is it. This is the whole game. These are 18 card games. The whole thing just fits right in there. So you can have a whole just sleeve of games. And one thing that I really like about the button shy wallet games is just the breadth of mechanical options for these games. You have games about flipping cards, games about RPGs, storytelling stuff. There's just it's amazing the gameplay that you can fit into 18 cards. And Jason Tagmeyer actually does a lot of contests. Like I think there's one that might be running right now for a 18 card RPG game. So a lot of these games come out of just many people, creative geniuses making this stuff. Tussie Mussy specifically is about telling, it's a mechanical game where you like play cards and try to get the most points, but also you're telling stories with your bouquets because it's using the language of flowers. If you've ever heard of Victorian times and the elaborate stories they would tell with bouquets, you'd send flowers and it would be a whole conversation. So for example, this phlox says our souls are united. This pink rose says we are happy friends. Pink larkspur is you are fickle. So you kind of I just make a whole bouquet and just say like, you are fickle, but we are friends, and I'm secretly in love with you. So in the Victorian ages, they would have whole conversations. Like the flowers you sent people really meant something. So you could send the wrong message. But yeah, this is an expansion for Tussie Mussie. So you can get the original game if you don't already have it, or just get lots of new fun cards to play. That's another nice thing about these wallet games is because they're 18 cards, it's nice to inject some new mechanics into it with expansions. So, and it's raised $133,000 so far. So this game's a good stuff. Definitely check it out. And a reminder, that has less than 24 hours. So check it out now if you want it.
And coming up with 25 days left, ending on June 30th, we've got some more Pride stuff. This one is Adventuring with Pride. Queer we go again. That's all I was thinking about, was how I was going to deliver that line.
That was sick. That was
I like
that was a bop.
Don't do that. I don't need that. Don't lie. This one is a sequel to the first Adventuring with Pride, which is a 5th edition adaptation for the queer community. I love this so much. It adds different kinds of subclasses, different kinds of characters, different kinds of games that you can play. It's a really good supplement for if you want to make your D&D campaigns more queer friendly, more inclusive. They have really great one-shot adventures. I love this so much. One of my favorite things, a couple of things that I really like about this. One is that they give you really great NPCs that you can play with that encourage for you to think more broadly. This isn't just for people who are queer, but also if you are a creator who's trying to be more inclusive with your gameplay, to try to figure out how you can include more queer characters into your gameplay as well, so that because what I've noticed is a lot of the times we just go automatically into very heteronormative tropes for a lot of our games. And this is a really good way of kind of challenging that as well. One of my favorite things is they have a subclass called Activist, which I love so much. And one of the other things you can do for your Activist basically is that it helps you to boost your stats and rally your stats for all of your players that are around you, which is a really cool thing. I love this. I have always joked that I really just want to be a social justice warrior. That's the class that I always want to play in D&D. And this feels like the social justice warrior class that I could finally become. So I'm really excited about that. And then also one of the items that they have in here, which I really, really love, is called wedding rings, which is 2 people can wear wedding rings, and they can gain a different kind of boost in their stats when they wear the wedding rings, which I love so much. Because wedding rings, for a very long time, if you're a person of a certain age, and maybe if you're under a certain age, it was illegal for gay people to get married for a very, very long time in this country, which is so crazy because when I talk to little queer babies, they don't know that, which is wild.
That is wild. Oh my God.
There's like teenagers and preteens who had no idea that like it was illegal to get gay married before. But if you remember, it was a very long, hard road. And for a lot of queer people, the ability to be married and to get their wedding rings was a really huge opportunity. And so I love this. It's got 25 days left, ending on, Seattle Pride weekend, or I don't know if that's like a national thing, but anyway, ending on June 30th. Check it out. Queer up your games and queer you go again. That was good. That was nice.
I like it.
I'll take that pass. So next after that, we have Extreme Meat Punks Forever, which just by the name alone, you should back it. 26 days to go, ending July 1st. A tabletop RPG about family, queerness, and gigantic robots made of meat. Be gay, pilot mechs, kill Nazis. I'm loving this the more I read it. A tabletop RPG based on the cult video game series Extreme Meat Punks Forever. It's set in the meat world, a world like our own in many ways, but very, very different. Instead of having lots of metal in the ground, this world has lots of meat. Meteorologists have learned to craft that meat into everything from simple tools to giant meat mechs.
I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna mute myself real quick.
I'm gonna get through this.
Doing great.
The video games have a strong queer feel to them, and they are clearly looking to bring that same feeling to the TTRPG, but it doesn't appear to be baked into the rules. You play as a meat mech pilot going around the world fighting monsters, old gods, and Nazis. In your mech that, if you didn't hear it before, is made out of meat. Play alternates between those scenes of intense actions and more intense emotional scenes where you RP the fallout with your gang in this meat world. The game is powered by the apocalypse and includes rules for crafting your own custom meat mech. There is a free 55-page quick start rules guide you can look at right now to see if this is the game for you. It even includes a sample module to let you try it out for a session. This game is for you. There's no other answer. Just get it. And there is one other Kickstarter that I wanted to mention, and it is called I Came Here to Win. It is a role-playing game based on the epic highs and lows of a season of reality TV. It is in its second iteration. There are 27 days left to back it. Highly recommend it. You can use it as a quick side adventure for your D&D party, where for whatever reason they find themselves in a reality TV show. It's a card-based GM-less system. The character creation is simple. It uses all of your standard role-playing die, and you get different challenges on a card, and your characters will have to succeed in those challenges based on the roles presented. Highly recommend taking a look at the first edition. I've used it personally, and I can tell you that the Barbarian was the one that won that reality TV show in my game. Let's see who wins in yours.
It's okay. We can meet this to an end already. But folks, that was our Kickstarters. I hope you enjoyed us and got some news and spent that money to get all the Kickstarters, all the bundles and everything. Remember that Gen Con isn't just about TableTakes here. We got a whole slew of shows for you. Let me go ahead and run down the show list really quick. Keep in mind, all of these, of course, are Pacific times that we're reading off here. So Monday at 6 p.m., we get board games with the Brothers Murph. Two brothers, they play board games. It's cool. Wednesday, 10 a.m., this game gets dicey. Two friends from vastly different places in parts of the globe tried to play a game online, and then hilarity ensues. And then, of course, Friday, 2 p.m., you have us at TableTakes here giving you all that sweet gaming news and giggling over all of the various different Kickstarters that we are very, very, very excited to back. Remember, folks, to follow, subscribe, turn on those notifications. And if you miss our live streams here on Twitch, don't worry. Just wait 24 hours later and we will be, this whole stream will be right on YouTube. Also, don't forget to join Gen Conians, Gen Con fans, or Gen... but also join our Discord. And like I said, this weekend is going to be the free RPG. Get in and enjoy all those games. And thank you, Emma, Noir, and Isabella for being here and showing your beautiful faces. And I want you all to dab out to say to folks goodbye. Dab.